Well, I just saw the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. It's a pretty good movie. The movie was crazy enjoyable from start to finish. They did everything right. Art style, characters, the comedy was good. And let's talk about one thing that's pretty obvious. This movie and Across the Spider-Verse has a lot of similarities, which is not bad. It's actually a good thing. It's proof that you do not need to reinvent the wheel every time you make a movie. You just need to make a good movie, and it'll be enjoyable. There's nothing wrong with having similarities with other movies. I mean, the art style is almost identical. I think Ninja Turtles has a better art style. The way the characters talk, meaning New Generation, is pretty good. Everything, they're really identical. The only thing different is the story. No, it's about a group of teenagers versus the teenagers who sneak out to do hero stuff that they don't want their parents to find about, and they meet someone who helps them. Leonardo falls in love with April O'Neil. I won't say fall in love, but he likes her. Miles Morales likes Gwen. There's a bigger story to this. There's just a lot of similarities throughout both movies, which is not bad. I actually like that they saw Spider-Verse and was like, this, it was a big success. Let's do something like this. But they didn't copy and paste it. They just took pointers and then did their own spin on it. And it was very enjoyable. Superfly, which, yeah, was the villain of the movie, was super entertaining too. He was a villain, another villain that was like obviously not evil just to be evil. His goal was just to make more of his own people, not to kill humans. It was basically, yeah, he was just basically like, all right, we'll just make all animals like me, and then make humans pet. It's just vice versa from his point of view. I mean, obviously he's a bad guy for humans, but he's not a bad guy to the turtles, which they thought for a second they were like, oh, actually that isn't that bad of an idea. But then it was like, but actually we just can't let the humans go all out like that. There is one weird thing that was in this movie, and that's seeing Master Splinter as not a master. It's just more of a guy who's never fought in his life, which was weird. That was the only weird part. It's my first time seeing Splinter not being a boss or not being able to know karate. And there's one thing I got to give this movie huge credit for, and that's making April O'Neil tolerable. She wasn't trash on screen. Most times when you have a human character, in a movie with super mutants, the human character is so annoying. Like, they don't listen. They do stuff like let me fight. They do stuff like you know better than me. This character April O'Neil was so entertaining. Actually, she was not annoying at all. Not 1 second did I feel like get this character off screen. Like, to me, I've always thought when you have a human character next to other characters like the Ninja Turtles or Transformers or Spider-Man, to not focus on the human. Focus on the things we want to see. This movie did that well. The Ninja Turtles was the main focus. We didn't see a point of view from April's O'Neil eyes. That would have been so bad to follow her, try to get a new story. But they sidelined that, and it was actually interesting. It was not terrible. But this movie was great, man. I loved every second of it. It was actually a good movie. And half of it has to do with I went into it thinking it was going to be bad. And not because I go into movies thinking it's bad. It's just been a while since I've seen a movie where I'm like, oh, this is good. Or had a good track record of movies. Like 5 in a row movies. I was like, all 5 of these were pretty good. And I really hope this gets a sequel. It definitely deserves it. This is one of the movies where I think should get like 4 movies. There's so many things you could do. You can do Strider. You can do them growing up and maturing. Because that's one thing that's one thing they do in this movie is they're not mature with any situation, which I think is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine as long if they have a sequel. Hopefully they do grow, because you see Leonardo wants to be more of a leader. He's not Michelangelo. Donatello, he's kind of shy. But hopefully in sequels, if they do one, which I think they should, they can grow as characters. I really hope to see this. And there's one thing that kind of surprised me about the ending that might not be a sequel is that humans accept them. They're going to high school at the end of the movie. Humans just know them. They're just walking among humans now. And that's one weird thing I couldn't wrap my head around, because there's no way that would ever happen. Even though the movie portrays it as they're the hero and they saved everybody. But in real life, they were probably shot down by the first person with a shotgun that they see because they're at normal. That's one thing I was like, oh, this would never happen. This would never happen. I wish they would have went the route of saving the world, never got caught, and they was like, who did this? And they didn't know who did it, and they went back to the sewers. Because have them being accepted by humans, which is okay if this is a standalone movie. That's perfectly fine. Not every movie needs a sequel. This is perfectly fine if this is the only movie they're going to do. But, I doubt it because if it makes a lot of money and the fans love it, they should do a sequel. But I don't have a clue what they would do if humans love them because Ninja Turtles usually are based off of hiding in the shadows away from humans, away from really everybody because, if someone saw them, they would try to milk them and they don't have nipples. And another thing this movie did is it's just funny. It didn't try to push a message on me. It was like unintentionally hilarious. There was just shit, random stuff that just happened. Like them just saying, bro, somebody was just twerking. Shit that just randomly happened that teenagers would do. It felt like teenagers. It didn't feel like people trying to be teenagers. And yes, I looked it up after this movie to make sure that I was right. They did have kids cast. I mean, that's perfect. Because if not, it could have felt like some grown adult trying to be a teenager. But no, they said Riz. They actually try to pay attention to what kids nowadays do instead of trying to be a kid and hire some 30-year-old to act like one. And I'm not surprised at all this movie was funny. It has Seth Rogen, one of my favorite comedians when it comes to movies. I don't even know if he does stand up, but his movies are amazing. His movies are super amazing and he's hilarious. And he's hilarious because he is unintentionally funny. He doesn't try to be funny. I wonder if how much he really had to do a hand in this as far as doing the comedy. But I wouldn't be surprised if Seth Rogen let the kids or the people who play the teenagers do their own thing, have their own spin. Tell them a direction and then let them go in that direction. Because the turtles feel so original, it's ridiculous compared to other movies. Other movies nowadays feel like someone is forced to play a character that they don't want to play. They playing it for the check, not because they want to play the characters. These kids felt like they were excited to play these characters and helped amazing, helped all the way throughout the movie. And it's really weird because I'm actually surprised that this movie was good. I mean, I haven't seen Oppenheimer or Barbie yet just because I'm not watching Barbie because it's not something I'm interested in. And Oppenheimer is 3 hours of something I'm not interested in. I'm more of a superhero, horror, something supernatural, sci-fi. I don't really like live action. And not live action, but like basically a documentary. But Barbie is just something I'm not interested in. I don't think I'm going to watch it anytime soon. But this movie was so good. That's all I can really say. It's a good movie, and you should go watch it right now. But peace, goodbye, and thank you for everything.